I think I'm live. Am I live? Can't even tell. Oh, all of that. Right, I've just been chatting for the last 10 minutes and I forgot to press the live button. So I'm going to start all again. I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist. This is Cycling in Zwift 2025. We are doing the Innsbruck route over in Germany. The route is called Lutscher, which means lollipop or to suck. It's 13.7 kilometers, which is just over 8 miles, but we've got just over 400 meters of elevation. Now we are here just having fun while I'm cycling, and I'm hoping to inspire or encourage your fitness journey. So whether you are new to cycling, you're coming back and you want a refresher, hopefully I can give you some tips on this online cycling game they call Zwift, or you can just watch me sweat sat there on your sofa. Now in today's ride there's currently 1,000 or just over 1,000 cyclists, each riding a similar setup to what I've got here, which is a bike on a turbo trainer connected to a computer and the Zwift app. So in today's ride, I always take questions from the chat. So if you have any questions, you just fire them away. If you want to shout out, say hi in the chat, and I'll be right with you. Just give me a moment to get my breath. I've been chatting for the last 5 minutes and I hadn't even started the stream. Try and remember what I said now. So my name's Ken Dizzle, the Black Cyclist, and throughout 2025, I'm going to be streaming live Mondays and Thursdays. During January and February, Zwift are running this event called Tour de Zwift, and that's an opportunity, whether you've ridden Zwift before or it's your first time, you can jump onto a group ride event, so you're not riding on your own. Gives you something to work towards. Virtual jerseys and badges is what we like to work towards, keep us all motivated. So if you've got any questions or any comments on what's going on here, what is this, why are you riding the bike indoors, fire away and I'll answer them all for you. But right now I need to recover before this hill climb comes up. We've not even got through the leading yet. So there are 2 climbs. This is the climbing route. So stage 4 of Tour de Zwift 2025. I've chosen a shorter of the 3 routes today because, yeah, it's Thursday. The week's not over yet. We've passed the hump, but I've got 2 humps of a hill to take on during this ride. Shouldn't be too bad. I don't think the gradient is too much. I shouldn't think it's more than 7 or 8%. I hope it's less, but I guess we'll see. It's been a while since I've ridden this route. And I'm already cooking. And if you'd like to check out my stats, all of my data is live and available online. You can follow me on YouTube. You can follow me on Blue Skies. You can check out my Strava profile, my Zwift Power profile. Check out all my stats, all my data, including my bike and stream setup. But you're probably best off asking me a question, and I'm happy to give you an answer. Oh, I'm so glad that I've got 2 fans, one in front and one to the side. I think I'm wearing myself out already. So the best thing about group rides is you get to ride with a group of similar people like yourself. So it makes the riding a little bit more interesting, more engaging, and eventually you will end up riding with a group of people who are going at the same pace or similar pace to what you are. So you can take on like a mini peloton or a mini bunch. So you all shelter each other from the headwinds. It's called drafting. I'll talk a bit more about that probably when we get to the hill, or the one of the two hills. Ugh. 4% isn't really much, really. 6 kilometers done already. This is just the warm-up. All of the hard work is still to come. So I think I've found my group. Potentially, this is the group that I'm going to be sticking with. Let's give a few ride-ons. How are you all anyway? Welcome to the stream. Thursday stream. Y'all know what I mean. Jump on your turbo trainer, bike machine. Get sweat, get lean. Boom, cut, boom, boom, cut, boom, cut, boom, boom, cut, boom, cut, boom, boom, cut. Oh, I'm so glad that my day has finished. One of my favourite things to do at the end of the day, end of the working day, come upstairs into the cottage, get on the Zwift bike, and just ride any worries away, pedal out the stress, get the heart rate pumping. Right, are you ready? Get a Powerup. Now I normally get feather for the first one. It might be draft, but I'm going feather because there's hills. Please give me a feather. Feather, feather, feather. Draft. I need it to be draft. So as I go through each of those gates, you get a Powerup, which is part of the Zwift gamification. Just makes the cycling a little bit more interesting. Draft, aero, feather, and XP points. And we can make a guess as we go through each one. So I think once we finish that light blue segment above, that's going to be the end of the lead-in. And then it's up one hill, down the other side, then up another hill, and down the other side. So, got to work today. Oh, I've dropped the keyboard already. I normally drop it about halfway through. I suppose it starts me sweating all over it. Oh. Right, it's time to try and get settled in. Heart rate's at 146. If you want to know what my stats are for the ride, just above to the top left of the screen, you can see the power that I'm pushing out on the pedals. 230 watts, 224 watts. My RPM is the pedals going round. You've got my heart rate, 142. Average power and the current watts per kilogram. That's another parametric. Centre of the screen you can see the ride data, like your dashboard. So my current speed, the distance travelled, total elevation, time elapsed, and here's the climb. You can see it's like a steady yellow. The darker the colour, the steeper the hill. Ugh. So I think this is really good for conditioning, endurance, even strength building. When you've got a nice steady climb like this, I'd probably say it's best to find yourself a decent gear, get a decent cadence, just keep turning the wheels and go. When it gets to orange, it means it's steeper. Blue is pretty much flat all downhill. Gives me a bit of a breather. There are 16.3 kilometers left until the end. I think if I maintain this particular pace, I should be finished in about 80 to 90 minutes. We'll see. Oh, I'm already tired. The good thing about the graph in front, it gives you a chance to plan the effort that you've got to do. So I know that this is the easier bit. It's going to get a bit steeper in a minute when it turns to orange. I've got a little mini breather when it gets to yellow and a bit of blue. Then I've got the rest of the climb, which turns orange. So you kind of know whether to lighten up a bit now or push harder as you get closer. Four percent, 4.4%, 5%. Nothing too taxing, but obviously not flat. This is called the Petite comp, so it's a short one. 4 kilometers, 4% average gradient across the entire climb for 2.7 kilometers. Thank you for joining. I appreciate everyone who tunes in of all the channels you could be watching. Somehow you ended up here. If you like what you see, comment below, hit the like button. And if you like this a little bit more, you might want to think about subscribing so you can check out some of my other videos or see when I'm going live. Now I'm usually live Mondays and Thursdays, live at 5 GMT, and the occasional weekend stream. Other than that, you can find me over on Twitch on the days that I'm not on YouTube. So this is a steeper bit of this climb, 6% gradient. Oh. It's not too bad actually. I think now that I've been going for 19 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm feeling warmed up, but definitely hot. 7%. Try and relax and reduce my movement so I'm not expending unnecessary energy. Questions in the chat. You got any questions about Zwift, cycling, training, anything really? Anything goes as long as it's PG. Keep the chat nice and friendly and positive. Oh, there's more riders have joined. It's currently 1100, sorry. A little bit easier on this section. 2%, 2.3. I think it couldn't have come at a better place, really. This is like a bit of a chance for recovery before the orange segment. "15 kilometers to go, mostly hills." Okay, the next bit of the climb is coming up. Oh my, that dude's on a mountain bike. Ooh, brave man. Oh. So my heart rate's currently at a steady 150, 2.2 watts per kilogram on this segment here. Just going to maintain this pace and just settle in, get used to the pace and keep going. Now, these sorts of rides on a continuous gradient, sort of riding you want to do if you're looking to build your endurance and your strength. This is all stuff that adds to your base layer of training. So I've got a little bit of a steeper incline for a moment, and when it gets a little bit easier, good to yellow, should be about 3%, or maybe 4%. Oh, I'm so grateful that I've got fans. One of the essential things to have if you're riding in Zwift is a decent fan for some cooling. You don't get the natural wind and the air resistance of you moving as you would in an outside bike. You're just stationary, so things do get quite hot. I have 2 fans and I have them on smart plugs, so I can just turn them on and off with a voice command. Well, it seems to have reached some sort of a plateau. Is that a castle? German castle. Right, bit of a breather, and then there's about 3 or 4 mini climbs, and then we've got some blue, so that's something to focus on. If you feel like your legs are burning right now, look ahead. Know you've got some blue sections coming up, and then the first of the 2 climbs ends at the blue section. There's some downhill. We can recover, rest the legs, give the heart rate a chance to return back to something more normal in the 130s, 120 hopefully. And then we do the second climb, which is even longer, but we're here for the climbs. You don't get strong by sitting on your ass. Well, sitting on your ass and not pedaling. Thank you for joining. Feel free to just watch, or if you have a question or comment, pop some in the chat. Mini breather coming up. I think I prefer to do this sort of climb rather than the grade. The grade's just constant. Okay, so it's guess the Powerup number 2 for today's ride. I'm still going to guess feather. After a climb, I always seem to get a feather. I better get rid of my draft. Nearly missed it then. Oh, aero. Okay, I'll take that. So while I've got this draft activated, if I'm sat behind a rider, it increases the benefit I get from drafting by about 10% for the duration of the Powerup. The first part of the climb done. We are about just under halfway through. Now, if you wanted to, if you were really feeling it now, you could just not pedal on the downhill. But I'm going to keep the legs turning, but try and get some quick recovery on this downhill segment before the next climb. Remember to rehydrate frequently. Got to replace all this sweat. Mini breather. I mean, I'm not super tucking, but apparently the super tuck has changed when you're in a group ride. It doesn't let you accelerate. But I'm not going for time, so I'm happy to take some recovery. You see my heart rate's dropped so fast already down to below 130. All right, I'm going to try and stay with this group, so I'm going to start pedaling again. Twelve and a half kilometers left to go. Actually, I feel quite good. Sometimes you start off and you feel, oh, legs feel heavy. I'm not sure I can keep this up. But I think once the adrenaline starts flowing, you soon find that hidden strength, hidden power. Say that, I'll probably end up collapsing on his second climb. So I make a variety of videos, all focused around cycling, whether that's bike maintenance tips, how to fit pedals, some bike reviews, the occasional product review. I've probably got like maybe, I don't know, I've probably got about 100, maybe at least 50 Zwift videos from the last 4 years. I've been Zwifting for 4 years. Want to know more about Zwift? There are plenty of videos you can find on YouTube that tell you all about it. Or you can check some of my videos. You will see some links on my page about my Zwift setup, getting started, group rides. I've got some personal race commentaries. Or I'd probably say hop over to Zwift Insider and they're going to give you information on all the different routes, the bikes, anything you need to know really. Oh, this feels good. And as we're all riding in this bunch, obviously apart from whoever's right at the front, we end up getting shielded from some of the headwind. This is called the draft. So I think you head down this stretch, then when we turn to the right, then we've got the second climb. Ooh. That recovery worked well. Legs are feeling, well, they've got some more life in them. Heart rate slowly creeping up to the 140s. So 10 kilometers. Most of it's going to be climbing. Here we go. Oh. Not too bad, this first bit. Gets steeper as we get to the wiggly bits. So let's talk a little bit about the Zwift screen. All of these riders around me, you can work out who they are by looking at this table behind. I'm the blue highlight here. Person in front is going to be above, person behind is going to be below. And you can look at that menu and you can see how much power the other rider's putting out, how far they've travelled, and how far ahead the riders are behind or ahead of you. And at the top of it you can see 925, that's my current position. There are 1130 current riders in this group. Now normally, if this was a normal ride and we weren't going up a hill, I would have picked up the pace a bit so I could stick with those riders and remain in the draft, but as it's mostly climbing up a hill, there's not really a great deal of draft saving I want to be benefiting from, so it doesn't really matter. Plus, it's not a race, it's a leisurely ride just for training and endurance, so I'm not really looking to beat any particular time. Just get round, complete the route, get the badge at the end. How you doing, Tim? Top 600 or riot. Attack the hill. There will be no attacking. Maybe a heart attack if I try to attack the hill. Thanks for tuning in, Tim. And also thank you for joining the ride along with the BBC on Monday. I saw you on this morning, Tim, at about 7 o'clock, wasn't it? No, I'd bridge the gap, Tim, but we're about to start climbing now. I'll probably catch him up now anyway, as you get to these climbs. It's Lutscher in Innsbruck. So you know you've got the massive like 10-kilometer leading, then a climb, followed by another climb. Yeah, we'll probably do another one next month, Tim, sometime. I'll add it to the Black Cyclist Zwift group. So if anyone wants to join me on a group ride, I add the rubber band effect. So it doesn't matter how fast you are, how slow you are, as long as you're turning the pedals, we all stay together. And I picked something that's relatively flat with not a great deal of elevation, suitable for all levels, beginners, intermediates, advanced, and we can talk, chill, get fit, and just enjoy the beauty of cycling. Yeah, I was chatting for the first 2 minutes, done a really good introduction, and when I flipped screens and it was like waiting for stream to start. I think when I prepare too much, I over prepare. I think I've raced this route as well before, and the climbs really take it out of you. So you're usually quite grateful for this bit, even though it's a little bit meandering. Still a chance to recover. So how often are you riding at the moment, Tim? How many days? I think my favourite route, so Tim's asked what my favourite route is. I think my favourite route, it used to be Sands and Sequoias, one of the Watopia routes, because I kind of like the scenery. You had a decent amount of flats, some rolling hills, There's lots to see as you go up into the hills. You can see bears climbing trees and falling eggs, stealing honey pots. But I just like the different scenes. Right now though, I'd probably say my favourite route is, yeah, it's probably still Sand and Goyers, but also I quite like Mercury 40. So it's like a 40-kilometre route. It's on the Mercury Islands route. And again, I think there's just lots to look at. Makes the ride a little bit more interesting, change the scenery. And you go from, you start off in the city, Neokyo. So there's all like neon lights and roads. Then you head out into the country, the countryside. There's some nice, you know, similar to this where we are now. Some rolling hills, a few steady climbs, some nice declines. Head out onto a beach, and then you end up back in the city again. So Tim's training about 4 days a week. Yeah, I think that's where I like to aim myself at. 2 rides minimum, 2 to 3, 4 is good. So right now it's my absolutely set days are Mondays and Thursdays, and then at least 1 ride on the weekend. Longer ride on the weekend, because you've got more time to do the ride and more time to rest and recover. That's a great question, Tim. If I could have any permanent Powerup, what would it be? I think the feather, because it doesn't matter how hard you're pushing. I think you're probably going to benefit from that the most when you're on a hill climb, and especially when the gradient's up to like 15% or 18%, anything above 9%, a little like 15-20 seconds of the feather Powerup makes something feel flat for those 15-20 seconds. How about you, Tim? Oh, twice a day training. Is that for your triathlons? And I also swim in the week as well. I mean, I'm not up to my usual full speed level of training, but when I'm at my peak, it's 4 days a week. And I now do gym on the weekends, 1 hour on Saturday, 1 hour on Sunday, and I sprinkle a few yoga sessions in the week. That's more for my stretching and my recovery. Reward the body back after all this effort and work that you put in. You know what, I was expecting this second climb to be a lot steeper. Now I know it's probably going to come at the end. I mean, this middle section, I thought there'd be more climbing. I mean, I've still got another 200 meters of climbing, so it's absolutely going to come at the end. Yeah, steamroller or anvil. Yeah, don't they only come out though in the races? I mean, I was tempted to go for the ghost, so then you could always surprise people on the sprint break because they can't see you. So the anvil Powerup, if you unlock a gravel or countryside surface coupled, it flattens the ground for you, so you've got better rolling resistance, so you can get some real gains there. Does anvil make you heavier? Is that right? So perfect for downhill, because the heavier you are, the faster you travel, but not great for going uphill. Ugh. Before I started, I nearly swapped to the standard ride, which has got 900 meters of elevation, and I'm so glad that I didn't. Sometimes it's good to push yourself that little bit extra. Other times it's good to stay in your zone, know what you've got, be happy at the end of it. Do some ride-ons. This seems to have gone through really fast. What was I thinking I'd be here for about at least an hour, maybe an hour and 20. So this route that we're riding now is called Lutscher. It's in Germany on the Innsbruck ring, which is a UCI racing route, and it's an actual replica of a real route over in Germany. So some of the routes that you have on Zwift take in the real world. So we've got some London routes, Scotland, Yorkshire, France, and Germany. And the made up ones are in Watopia and Macquarie Islands. And although it probably looks as if this isn't real, when you're pedaling, it absolutely feels real, and the turbo trainer will adjust the bike's resistance to reflect the hill. So right now it's going a bit lighter because it's -3 downhill. As the gradient changes, the resistance in the turbo trainer changes to reflect the gradient. So it really is like riding your bike outdoors, indoors. Tim, you're asking all the best questions today. So, I'm the Black British Cyclist for a couple of reasons. Well, one, it's true, I'm black, I'm British, I'm a cyclist. But I wanted to create a persona to catch people's attention and to spark that conversation about the lack of diversity in cycling, especially at a pro level. Now, I'm far from a pro, but I've always felt that I've always had such a passion for cycling ever since a kid. But the opportunities weren't there for me. And there certainly weren't any role models that I could see that looked like me. So it's also a play on words, BBC, obviously. Starts a conversation. Let's guess the Powerup. I'm gonna go for draft. Let's see. Will it give me a draft? No, it's giving me a feather. Should have gone feather. Yeah, so my persona is the Black British Cyclist. My objective is to just be as inclusive as possible, promote cycling to everyone. So at the same time, I become a, well, I don't know how prominent, but I become a prominent figure on YouTube, online. So other people, you know, younger versions of me can see me and probably see some familiarity, get cycling. But mostly it's a good conversation starter. Thanks for asking, Tim, I really appreciate it. Is it France? I thought it was Germany. Isn't it Germany? Oh, forgive me. Voulez-vous bouquet avec soi? See, Tim always keeps me on the ball, on my toes. Sure it's not German? Lutscher's German though, isn't it? I mean, Petite Douleur is French. I mean, the guy in front's German. Shall we ask him? Klinger, are we in France or Germany? Was it, trying to remember my French now. I'm going to say, Donde este? That's Spanish. Okay, so here comes the second climb. Nothing like a climb at the end. I was glad for the feather. 2.7 kilometers all the way. Let's put some effort in. Effort for Tim. Yeah, I'm going to do some racing, Tim. I think once I've had a couple of months to get back to my Zwift fitness, I will jump on some races. So probably from about March onwards, between March and May. Petite Douleur. I know Lutscher means lollipop or to suck. Yeah, feather on the red. See, if you weren't watching, Tim, I'd be doing this a little bit lighter. Looks like we might finish in an hour. Come on, dude, you can do it. Dry bit of towel. Might save it for the last of the red, the second bit of red. Thanks, Tim. Always push me harder. Right, bit of a breather. Oh, need this. Oh. I think it kind of depends on what day of the week it is. If it's my first ride of the week, I prefer to do something longer but easier, like zone 2, zone 3. And then once I'm warmed up, like the second and third ride, I don't mind doing like a hard interval, like a workout with some intervals. VO2 max, under overs. But as long as I can hit about an hour and get a TSS of about 600, I feel like I've had a decent workout. You see my heart rate climbing now. I can rest on the downhill. Tim, are you trying to store my oxygen? Am I more of an attack the hill guy or fight for the sprint? I think I'm neither, Tim. Although, because I was mostly a mountain biker, climbing the hills is what you do to get to the best downhill bits. And I used to just like to just go at a constant speed, get to the top, and then enjoy the roll down. It's working, Tim. Oh. Bit of a breather. Get some life in his legs. Oh. 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 I was in 900 for about 2 seconds then, Tim. You spoke too soon. Is that my target? Finish inside 900. Right, okay. More climbing. Let's go. 900. Yeah, so Zwift is the most popular cycling app. When I first got this turbo trainer, it came with a load of vouchers to free trial for some of the other ones like Ruby and some other ones. And I never thought I'd be interested in paying a subscription to ride a bike in my house. But once I took the 7-day trial, within the first, say, 100 metres I was hooked. I was like, take my money. So I will stop in the summer because right now in this room it's 24 degrees, yet outside it's 5 degrees. This room can get as hot as 38, even 40 in the peak of the summer, even with the fans. And it's just too hot, way too hot. So I don't do much indoor riding in the summer. And then when I'm outside in the summer mostly, I start a ride at like 6 in the morning, 7, beat the sun and the heat. So I will take a break from about June for most of the summer. In the meantime, I'll jump on one of the free apps like Virtue Pro or My Whoosh, and then come back to Zwift in the winter, about October, November. I mean, look at the sweat just falling off me. Oh. Little push towards the end. I've realised I don't have to do all the climb. There's only like 280 metres left. Oh. 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 Oh, God. I'm hurting. Okay, there's the finish line. Let's get the Powerup. It's got to be further. "55 minutes. And a route badge. And as you always say, you have to earn the downhill. So keep pedaling. And I get some 3 miles on the way down. And that's a nice recovery as well. So that actually, ride summary, Lutscher, 25 kilometers because of a 10-kilometer lead in, which is flat, then pretty much two climbs. So there's enough effort in there for you to get a decent warm up, spin the legs before you start, pace yourself for the first climb, get some recovery before the second climb, so you can really get some real bang for your buck. And you can do this depending on your fitness level. I'll probably say between 40 minutes and 1 hour 30. And someone like at my pace, which is low cat C, I think my average watts per kilogram for most of it was around about probably 2, maybe 2.2 watts per kilogram, I hope. If I wanted to work harder, I could still do the same route and just push harder on the hills. Maybe keep it at 250 or keep it at 200. But once you work yourself through the different routes, you'll get an idea about how long it takes to do each route, what each route feels like. So I know that if I want to do an hour, Garmin says I've burnt 560 calories so far. Sometimes I will jump on in my lunch break, do an hour. This would be the perfect ride to do. You know that you're going to be able to complete it, or complete most of it, then go back to work. So this is stage 4 of Tour de Zwift completed. There's 2 more stages left. Is it 6 stages? And we're finished. And then we'll be looking forward to Tour of Utopia, which is the next one, which happens around about March, I think. If you liked what you saw and you enjoy this sort of content, I would kindly ask you to consider whether it's worth hitting that subscribe button. It means you'll have reminders for whenever I'm live, whenever I post new videos. I do try to post 2 or 3 times a week, a short video, a longer video, and of course I'm live at 5 Mondays and Thursdays, and occasionally on Saturday. And I'm always talking cycling, Zwift, or anything to do with fitness, and just enjoying the beauty of cycling. I'm Ken Dizzle, the Black British Cyclist. Thanks for joining. I will see you again, maybe Saturday or maybe Monday. I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes cooling down. Nothing exciting to watch here, unless you enjoy watching me sweat. See you again soon.